Hey guys, BJ here with another deck guide, and this time I'm bringing you some Swarmlord by popular request. I've had quite a few people asking me, since the nerfs to some of the stealth units, what can you do with Swarmlord? Well, I'm bringing you this deck, which is, I'm calling it the Big Boss. It's a bit of a deviation away from the stealth approach, so let's take a look. Alright, going a bit more old school with the deck. I think it's pretty good. It's got a fair amount of beef to it. It's a nice kind of like board building deck. We've got Swarmlord. Swarmlord does his thing. He's good right now. He can kill Battle Sisters and all those 3 health units from Imperial Guard and whatnot. So yeah, Swarmlord is still a beast. We've got the double stealth and we've got the double flank. Nice cheap stratagems, which of course benefit from the synapse as well. Now, the Neuroloid got nerfed, and I have decided to drop it. Instead, I'm going to play a single Neurogaunt. Okay, so it does give us some flexibility, but it does still mean we've got like a really cheap synapse if we need it. I've got a single Enhanced Organism. Remember that this thing can heal your Warlord. We've got the Infinite Biomorphologies, because why would you leave home without it? We've got the Neurogaunt Nodebeast, so some solid synapse units there. We've got the double Gargoyle, double Genestealer on 3. Often we can play like the Genestealer down on 3, and then play the Genestealer again on 4 next to it, not to make the Genestealer bigger, but to go as a second stealer in stealth as well. And often that can kind of like buy, just buy us the turns we need. Because of the 3 melee attack from Swarmlord, that's often enough to like just keep controlling the board in the early game, and then we really start to shine. We have got a single Hardened Biology. This again played down on a synapse unit, pretty much just wins you the game quite often when you get that. Got the Tyranid Prime. Of course, we've got the digestion pool. It's worth saying. So if you are a beginner and you haven't yet reached level 20 on the Forge, as Tyranids, it's so important that you do that. The deck completely changes. In going second with this deck, we've got so many targets for the digestion pool, so you really do need that. I've got a single Venomthrope. Now, you could put 2 in. I would drop the Neurotyrant if you wanted to put the second one in. Or you could drop... yeah, you could drop the Hardened Biology, but I think I'd drop the Neurotyrant, to be honest. Or a second Rapacious Hunger. But I'm going with 1 Venomthrope. This deck generally wins the game by like E8, so we don't go too late anywhere. Now we have got the double Carnifex now, as we're moving away from the stealth units. Carnifex is just really solid 5-drop as ever, always has been. The Ravenous Hunter for the finisher. This is our win con, guys. We obviously want to play this down on the Broodlord or on a decent board to kind of like burst our opponent down. Double Tyrant Guard, giving us some nice protection for protecting the board. Don't forget as well, obviously with Tyrant Guard benefiting from Swarmlord's ability, he can start to get like ranged attack and even more health as well. So that's kind of like one of the advantages of something like Lich Guard, for example. Also, we've got the Broodlord. One of the best ways of setting up the Ravenous Hunter, or getting things like double Enhanced Organism or double Hardened Biology, really, really good in this deck. Double Hive Crone. Again, not a bad one to tempo out on E4 with the with the disruption pool for sure. And then we got the Neurotyrant, as I say. I mean, again, another one you can tempo out on E4. This is really solid, and it's pretty scary if they can't deal with it, because if you can play like Enhanced Organism or Hardened Biology the turn after and get multiple copies of it, then I mean it's pretty devastating. Double Rapacious Hunger. I feel like this is pretty good right now. Like, really good AoE, guaranteed 3 damage. Just deals with the Tau boards, with the Sisters boards, with the Imperial Guard boards. I feel like 2 is pretty good in this meta. I also run double Harpies. I really like the Harpies, and honestly, this sort of like just pushes the... you can go lower curve, but I feel like this just kind of pushes us into that kind of mid-range build, and just kind of means that we just don't run out of steam. Having things like Hive Tyrant and Harpies, you really don't need to go any bigger or any higher than that. That is enough to kind of like see you through the game, to be honest. You don't need to attack like a madman with Swarmlord with this deck as well, because it's all about building the board. Sometimes you just won't attack with a unit if you think that the Warlord can then just remove it next turn, because again it's all about building the board, and this deck is like old school Swarmlord, Shumatsu style, and yeah, it's very, very powerful. Of course, with the Mulligans, you want to keep like an Encircle the Prey, and you also want to look for Infinite Biomorphologies. Other than that, you're really looking for units. So obviously the 3-drops are kind of key, like the Gargoyle and the Genestealer. We don't have to have anything on the first turn, that's absolutely fine. But you're really looking for those. If you're going second and you've got the Disruption Pool, then obviously you're thinking about what tempos out well. You've got so many targets for it though that you should be fine. Generally you want to get a 5 or a 6-drop out with a Disruption Pool, not a 4-drop. So for example, on turn 3 you could get out Carnifex, then turn 4 you could play the Venomthrope or the Prime, so that's generally how you want to do that. Otherwise, yeah, kind of, you could keep a Hunger if you're really worried about a kind of quick go wide board, but generally speaking, what I've said is kind of like what I would keep. So that's the deck, guys. That is kind of like a really good Swarmlord build I would run this season. Let's jump into a couple of games now and just kind of like show you how it works. So we're going to get rid of the guard there. We haven't got the Disruption Pool. We'll set the Raging Storm though, see if we can fill out a curve. So we don't even attack, we just pass. Like I say, a really old school Shumatsu style way of playing Swarmlord this. Going a little bit later game, so we're not in a rush. And our units can kind of win the game. We don't need to like try and beat them down. Like the stealth units are really rubbish on the comeback. That's why you kind of go really aggro. But with this type of deck, we're really good defensively as well. So we're always trading. So we drop the Genestealer. And obviously we could drop the Nodebeast here, but we could just simply play another Genestealer. So we're denying the faith, and we're just going to go with the Genestealer player. We're just going to chill. Like I say, this is a really good way of just kind of like controlling the early game, getting you to where all your beef is. Alright, he did have the relic, so he's up to where he needs to be. So we are going to be dealing with 2 sisters, so it's a really good game for Junith. We're just going to drop the Carnifex. Definitely take the armor and just kill that. Notice that I didn't attack with the Genestealer. I really want to put this pressure on. And you see, because he can't kill it now, he actually plays Seraphine and takes out the Stealer, which we really don't care about. E6, we've got a lot of things we can think about here. The Hive Crone isn't great, like, because we'd still have to kill with the Carnifex. This is where the one range attack hurts us a little bit against flyers. So in the end, we actually decide to go with a node play. We could build a giant node beast, but we actually go wide, and then we play the Hive Commander, making sure we get real good value out of that, and obviously the Carnifex can then trade. Now we hit face. Okay, so he's bringing on the Flagellant, and he wants to get rid, but you see he takes 5 damage doing that. This is what I mean about the difference between this and the stealth. We've always got a really good comeback. We're always dealing damage, even on the defense. Now we're on E7, so I'm trying to kind of make use of Swarmlord's Warlord talent, so we're going to play a 5-drop. I'm just going to replace the Carnifex with his twin brother. I actually misplayed here in terms of the positioning. Carnifex should have gone on the end, so we could have benefited these. But I ended up playing the Enhanced Organism, and so that means Swarmlord heals, so it wasn't too bad. But I'd have rather kept the unit alive, so I think that was a misplay, to be honest. Shouldn't have put the Carnifex between the 2 Synapse creatures, just put them on the end for sure. So this time we can drop the Crone. We actually got the positioning right, which is good. Hive Commander. See what happens here. This is what I mean, but it's a board building Tyranid deck. Really old school. Nice mid-range board building deck. Yeah, he's had enough. He just can't keep up with that beef. Le Boeuf. So we beat up Junith. Can we take out her sister Erika as well? We're going to drop the Harpies. They're kind of like top of our curve. We don't really need those in our opening mulligan. Because it's sisters, I keep Rapacious. I think against Erika, I don't know. To be honest, because of the Rhino now, I think you keep it even against Erika. You definitely would keep it against Junith. So we've got a bit of a weird hand. He also takes the Sweeping Infestation, so we will start to take damage. Whoever's got the highest health, which of course starts as me. It is a problem for him if he does get higher, because obviously every time he prays, he'd then basically ping himself and lose health. So that's kind of interesting. I think we're just going to attack to stop the prayer. Pass the turn back to him. He's going to go Celestine. Celestian, sorry. Now we did get a Gargoyle, so we can actually go, phew, breathe a sigh of relief. Take this thing out. He is going to get the one Faith there. No, he's not, because the Sweeping Infestation. So this is kind of backfiring on him already. Look, he's praying. I don't even need to attack there. Look at that. So we're going to Digestion Pool here, because if we drop the Broodlord, then next turn we can drop the Guard to protect him. Now the Guard should go on the outside, by the way, guys, so just a little bit of a positioning thing here. Let's see if I actually get it right. Nope, we got it wrong. So you want the Guard on the outside, because if you got things like Enhanced Organism on the Broodlord, then it can heal the Warlord. So our position's a bit off here. So we just go ahead and play the Prime, and now we're going to play the Commander. And again, we've got one of these boards, so you can see what we're trying to do with this deck. Like, I'm not playing a ton of games today, but I just wanted to kind of show you like how it works. It's all about just building. Like, the mid-range beef is as good as pretty much any faction in the game, if not better, to be honest. It's very, very strong. It's one of the reasons why this type of Swarmlord's always stood the test of time. Everything's stunned, so we kind of have to slow play it. Just going to basically buff, keep buffing the board. This has now got stealth if we need it. So we've got flank. Okay, he drops a Vanguard. Obviously, we've got the flank and the Venomthrope to kill it. But honestly, guys, we don't even need it, because look at the size of these units. This is why I think we only need one Venomthrope, because you can just build ginormous dudes. Like, we can just basically Hive Commander here. We get double Hive Commander off the Broodlord. Then we can use Ravenous Hunter. Everything attacks twice, except for the Warlord. The 44 plus 16 is... But guys, we had 63 damage there. That turn we could do... If you're wondering about, like, why don't you just always hit face, we could have done 63 damage just on that turn there. I mean... So there you go, guys. Nice big boss deck, really, really solid. I think this deck's very potent, to be honest. It's got a really nice curve. It's not going to run out of steam, and you know, if you really need to go into the late game, you've got like the Harpies and the Hive Tyrant that can carry you there pretty easily, to be honest. I think this deck is really, really good and a very, very solid. If I was a kind of Tyranid diehards, I think something like this would be really solid to play this season. So yeah, I hope you like that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please hit that like button, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you doing, guys? Go ahead and drop that sub. Really appreciate it, and thanks for watching.